Good morning. Thank you for coming, everybody. This is a really exciting day. I'm Greg Butz, co-chair of the Capital Campaign. And thank you, again for coming. Unfortunately, the weather's not holding out for us, but we're not going to let that damper our enthusiasm here. There's been a lot of effort over a very long period of time by a lot of people. So it's still an exciting day. Plus, you're able to sit here in nice seats. One or two of the speakers can have a tendency to get a little long, so I think you're going to be happy to be sitting instead of standing out in the rain. I won't mention who those, they know who they are. As co-chair of the campaign, my job today is to introduce the politicians who are in attendance and thank them for all of their support throughout the campaign. Hopefully I'm not missing anybody. From State Representative Pete Schweier's office, Nancy Wilt is here. Nancy, thank you. From Representative Mike Schlossberg's office, Nancy Luck is here. Nancy, thank you. County Executive Phil Armstrong. Phil, thanks for coming. Mayor of Allentown, Ray O'Connell. I didn't see Ray yet. Is he here? He's on his way? Okay. And Senator Pat Brown is here today, and he's going to be speaking to you in a minute. A special thanks to Pat. We wouldn't be here today having a ribbon cutting if it weren't for what Pat did with the $2 million RCAP grant, so he was a critical role in this campaign, so thanks, Pat. I'm very proud to have played a...
There's another politician, political figure from our community, Candida Affa is here.
Yeah. Okay.
We didn't see her, but she's here.
Candida, thank you for coming. I'm very proud to have played a small role in this project along with our team, and I think you're going to be very impressed with the results when you get to see them. I'd now like to turn it over to Maria DeFebo Edwards, President of the Civic Theater.
What a truly wonderful day for Civic Theater. On behalf of the board and staff, I welcome you all here. Thank you for coming out on this rainy day. I believe rain during any special event is a blessing, so today we've been very, very blessed. I also believe that the Morning Call reporters, Mr. Cole and Mr. McGreedy, Charles H. Hoke, and others, all of those who have loved Civic, are with us here today as we celebrate years of dreaming, planning, and working to make our community dream come true. The 19th Street Theater has been given new life thanks to our dreamers, our architect Mills Engineering, our construction company Butz, Alvin H. Butz to be more proper, the contractors, artisans, tradesmen from 41 companies, our board of directors, staff, and volunteers, our 19th Street neighbors, and our Lehigh Valley community. I look forward to everyone's continued support during Phase 3 of our capital campaign, and to seeing you tomorrow at our grand reopening, and to celebrate with us. Now I'd like to introduce one of our co-chairs, Barry Goss. So now I'm going to introduce, from the Chamber of Commerce, Frank Fasciano.
Well, welcome everybody. On behalf of the Allentown Chamber of Commerce, the Greater Lehigh Valley Chamber of Commerce, and of course our CEO, Tony Iannelli, I'd like to give you congratulations on this fabulous event. Tony would have loved to be here. We have him up in Stroudsburg at a pretty key meeting for us up there today. So congratulations to the Civic Theater, its board, its staff, its volunteers, and its donors for this amazing restoration and renovation that we're all about to see. The Civic Theater's been here for 90 years, has been the anchor of the West End District. All right, who's that? An anchor of the West End District, a rare gem for Allentown and the entire Lehigh Valley, bringing local theater, acting classes, and movies for all those years and entertaining generations. I'm now proud to be a part of the board of the Civic Theater. Thank you. And again, very excited to see this restoration and renovation, and hope we see you at tomorrow's opening, and hope you attend many shows from now on in this beautiful new theater. It is my pleasure to introduce a Civic Theater fixture in his own right, who's just gone through a restoration of sorts. Please welcome Dr. Barry Glassman.
Oh my, right? I can't even begin to tell you how exciting this is. This is a dream. In 1928, two architects by the name of Weitz and Thalheimer built a series of theaters in the Lehigh Valley, one, and the rest of them in Philadelphia and New Jersey. That was in 1928 through the early 1960s. There were 12 theaters, all of them as beautiful and as ornate, not as large, one larger, than the 19th Street Theater. The only theater that exists today as a theater is ours. The rest of them have either been demolished, one's a dollar store, one has been, in Wildwood, has been destroyed and is a water slide. So why is this one different? And this one is different because in 1957, some very thought-provoking, wonderful people realized that Civic Theater needed a home. It's not the building that makes this place great. It's the heart. It's not the facility that makes this place wonderful. It's the people in it and what it does for the community. And having said that, we also know that without that building and without the facility, the heart can't beat. And so this dream has become a reality. It wasn't that long ago that I was sitting in the theater with Lenny Fowler. And Lenny had come to see a show, and she looked up at the ceiling and she said to me, Barry, well, how much would it cost to fix that dome? And I said, it's not possible. She said, no, there's no dollar amount that would fix that dome? I said, no, in order to fix that dome, we've got to shut down, imagine this, shut down the theater, Civic Theater's been doing theater consistently since 1927, 28. So we weren't going to break that. So we would have to shut down the theater, put up scaffolding for a year, find an architect who would be willing to work through a modernization of a 1928 facility, find a general contractor who would be willing to coordinate some 40 subs and make this happen. It didn't seem possible. And $6 million didn't seem possible either. It's $5 million later, Mills and Schnoring later, Butz later, and subs that I can't tell you that worked in an incredibly coordinated fashion that made me proud every day to be here and watch this incredible facility improve to the level that you will be, it's jaw-dropping. It's so exciting. And what it does for us is it guarantees that the heart will continue to beat, that we will continue to provide incredible services to our children, that we will continue to provide the community with opportunities that live theater does that nothing else does, to bring humanity and maintain humanity at some level in the community. And yes, independent and foreign films will continue when we worked the new theater, each sound system is independent. So yes, we have cinema sound the way you're expecting cinema sound, except we lower it a little bit so you can actually hear it. We have a theater sound in a way that it no longer matters where you sit in the theater because there are no dead spots. It is absolutely gorgeous. And we have an organ sound, and they're all separate systems that exist in that theater. It goes over and over. And when I talk about the new seating, the murals in the back of the theater, they each had 100 holes in them when silk was put, and the artistry of Evergreen, a company that came in and did all of the painting and did all the restoration and restored each hole with the care. I couldn't believe there were people with sledgehammers breaking up concrete, and then we had on the scaffolding somebody with a half-inch brush working on the murals. It's an overwhelming project. Today, you get to see it, the front of it. So when we're done, you are more than welcome to cross the street. We have carpets so that you can rub your feet on so that you don't soil the new carpet. And in the front, there's a patron lounge and a new box office that happens to be opened if you want to purchase tickets, just saying. And our new lobby with our donor wall where you can see those people who donated significantly to the campaign. And the goal is to make you look at that and say, boy, would I love to be on that donor wall, because we are, of the $5.5 million, we are 90% there. So we've raised, with Pat's and Pennsylvania State's $2 million, we've raised a total of $5 million. So we're still $500,000 to go, and we all know that that's often the most difficult. So we're letting everyone know that we're not done yet, and there's another phase where we work on the Children's Theater School upstairs. There are so many people to thank. I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to save that for opening night. But I am going to thank all the people that are here, all the press that are here, and all of you for being here to help make today so very special. Thank you. I am now going to introduce someone that really did an incredible amount of work to make this happen. That this would not have happened. It's not possible. Just to let you know, there was a point in time when it looked like some of the work that had to get done wasn't going to get done, and we might lose this grant. And this man, independently, individually, worked so hard to make sure that it happened. And I am proud to introduce a friend to all of us here in the Lehigh Valley, Senator Pat Brown.
Good morning, everybody. On behalf of the Pennsylvania Senate, all my colleagues in the General Assembly, and the members of the Arts and Cultural Caucus of the General Assembly, wanted to thank and give an extraordinary bravo to the so many people who had made this possible today. Of course, the Glassmans for their endless commitment to this facility, the Butts family, and Alvin H. Butts and the whole team of Alvin H. Butts and what they continue to do for our extraordinary assets here in Allentown. The officers, directors, the performers, past and present, and all of you. So we joined together to get, again, on 19th Street, this time to celebrate the renewed glory of the jewel of West Allentown, a place that has helped generations of our community discover who they are. And because of the commitment of people in this room, we'll be able to fit that noble cause for generations to come. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, I represent a very diverse community in a very diverse state. And in my travels around Pennsylvania, I'm often asked, what is an Allentonian? What describes an Allentonian? And what I tell them, first and foremost, I tell them that an Allentonian is a doer. In that common equine analogy, a workhorse and not a show horse. Committed to the simple accomplishments in the regimented tasks of the ferial day, an Allentonian is spiritual, humble to the power greater than oneself, devoted to the many places of worship that are organically dotted throughout the neighborhoods of our fair city. An Allentonian is civic-minded, deferential, and tolerant to neighborhood rhythms, and proud, very proud, of the human diversity of the urban landscape. Yet despite that structured, sometimes stoic, purposeful facade of the typical Allentonian, deep down inside lurks a cauldron of extemporaneous enthusiasm, covered by the daily practical, but when ignited, boils over into dramatic expression of an extraordinary lust for life. It has and does boil over into the march, the beat, and the overwhelming extravagance of the Allentown Parade. From the Jubilee to end-all parades in the late 1920s to the patriotic panoramas of the post-Great War processions to the annual fall festival for ghouls and goblins, Allentonians explode into the streets with punctuated pomp which is far beyond circumstance. It boils over into the awesome originality and endless expanse of the Allentown Greenway, weaved into every neighborhood ever accessible and activated. Queen City residents can boast and revel in a park system that is marvelous compared to any municipality anywhere throughout the American mainland. And it has boiled over into an extraordinary compendium of concert halls and cinematic cabarets, which have deaftified and dazzled Allentonians for decades. Our town was once known as the city of theaters. Allentown boasted of over 15 separate downtown playhouses by 1920, each with its own character and its own ornamentals. So popular among the Allentown faithful that the city fire marshal was on constant alert for unsafe overpatronage. And while the city roared into the 20s and surged past 100,000 people with fabulous buildings and bridges rising and spanning, with factories churning night and day, something as compelling was clearly brewing out west. As Allentonians reveled in their parades, paused in their parks, and kicked back in their cabarets, the neighborhoods outside the West Park watershed began to boom, fueled by prosperity and promise at an infinity's pace. Yet as the streets lengthened, the neighborhoods doubled, and the numbers grew, the fledgling West Allentown inhabitants soon realized that a queer void existed in their domicile, a blur in the full vision for their new homestead. Something that was fully accommodated for their longer settled eastern neighbors. To fill that void, they needed their own ignited exhibition of enthusiastic expression, their own setting for spontaneous serenity, clearly articulating their own passions and their own provocations for a life beyond limits. With very little time to spare, in the 20s, in a spectacular exposition of what the people of West Allentown truly believed of themselves and their place in the larger world, they conceived it in glory, located it on 19th Street, and christened it Allentown Civic Theater. With Civic Theater entering through the ornate facade of a fabulous new theatric treasure, the people of West Allentown moved beyond coexistence to begin to journey together, putting aside, even for a moment, their own disparate daily intentions, immersed in the many wondrous illustrations of the human experience. They dazzled under the lights of Broadway, marveled at the modern miracle of motion movies, pumped in the pride of their own children's performances, captivated in the cutting edge of theatrical mastery, and humbled themselves together before the haunt of a Christmas long since past and the specter of those yet to come. In Civic Theater, West End strangers and strangers throughout the city found commonality and became friends. Families joined together and realized the talents of their most dear. Patrons discovered new perspectives on the rapidly changing world around them, permeating beyond the hope, the joy, the emotional triumphs, the tribulations experienced within these walls. Civic Theater shaped and gave greater meaning to the lives of all those who entered and all those thus enlightened. Now, with 90 years of expression since past, made possible by an extraordinary commitment by people in this room. We stand together again to rededicate ourselves in renewal to what the timeless meaning of this fabulous facility, our restored Civic Theater, has and will continue to bestow on all of us. In this, ladies and gentlemen, there is very little doubt. For it may be that Allentonians are spiritual and civic engaged, and it's matched with excellence in the endless pursuit of wealth or want, but that only defines what we do. To journey beyond our senses, to dream beyond our comprehension, to let our hearts percolate in the leaps and limps of joys and sorrow, to extend beyond the hubris heights of our very humanity, is what best defines who we are. And we will always find that, we will always discover that, we will always be renewed by that the next time we again join together on 19th Street for another extraordinary performance in the renewed glory of the jewel of West Allentown, Allentown's own Civic Theater. Thank you very much.
Okay. This is our proclamation. Okay, great. I would now like to introduce, first of all, I'd like to bring our managing director and our artistic director forward, Shirley and Bill. And they will be receiving a proclamation from the Mayor of Allentown, Mayor Ray. Where are you?
Good morning. Good morning, sir. Good morning. Good morning. Might be raining on the outside, but the spirits and the enthusiasm on the inside is great. It's an honor to be here, and I did have a few comments, but Pat took every one of them. He always does that. Joanne, do you want to tell that story again that you told at the Arts Ovation? Are you sure? Yes. Do you have any candy for him? Only kidding, Pat. Pat, we love Pat. Pat is a great senator, but more than that, he's a great human being. So, proclamation time. That's what mayors do, right? Proclamation. And city council people. Whereas on today, Thursday, October 11th, 2018, a grand reopening and ribbon cutting is scheduled for the 19th Street Theater. Whereas the 19th Street Theater is one of 12 historic Art Deco movie theaters built between 1929 and 1958 that continues to function as originally intended. The building houses the Civic Theater of Allentown that has been lauded as a premier designation for live theater and the arts. Civic Theater's mission is to entertain, educate, and enrich lives and provide a venue for artists and audiences to explore developments in the world. And whereas, located in the West End Theater District, the 19th Street Theater is a crown jewel that attracts thousands of people looking for first-class theater, art, and independent cinema. It serves as a center for economic development for the West End of Allentown, as well as provides employment opportunities for professionals trained in the arts. Whereas the 19th Street Theater not only provides an outlet for artists and patrons of the arts, it also has a mentorship program for aspiring artists and arts administrators and provides outreach programs such as the Cat in the Hat to students. Now, therefore, I, Ray O'Connell, interim mayor of the city of Allentown, forget the interim, mayor of the city of Allentown. Okay. I am who I am. Okay. Okay. On behalf of all the citizens, commend this organization and members of this organization for their dedication, hard work, creativity in providing good community theater for audiences, and to furthermore proclaim the week of October 11th through October 18th, 19th Street Theater and Civic Theater Appreciation Week in Allentown. Congratulations. I did have notes prepared, so just bear with me for 30 seconds. It just seems like it was yesterday when you started the renovations, okay? But probably to the people who were working on it, and Sharon and Barry, it probably felt like 10 years, okay? But Allentown is very fortunate to have jams like the Civic Theater. My wife and I had the pleasure of attending many shows with our children, now our grandchildren. And I'm thrilled to find out that some of those performers over the years have moved on in productions, larger theaters across the United States. So I want to congratulate the board, the artistic staff, and the administrative staff. You should be very proud of what you have accomplished here. The Arts Ovation was just a couple weeks ago. It was a wonderful thing. And I want to read another quote. I quoted Texas Congresswoman Barbara Jordan. And I would like to repeat that. The arts are not a frill. The arts are a response to our individuality and our nature, and to help shape our identity. What is there that can transcend deep differences and stubborn divisions? The arts. They have a wonderful universality. Art has the potential to unify. It can speak in many languages without a translator. The arts do not discriminate. The arts can lift us up. And the Civic Little Theater has lifted us up for many years and will continue to lift us up. It's a great day. Congratulations. Looking forward to the show tomorrow night.
And councilperson Candida Alpha.
Good morning. I also have a proclamation from the City Council, but Ray O'Connell said everything I wanted to say. So I'm just going to say a few words. I'm going to touch on what Senator Brown talked about, Allentonians. We not only enjoyed this theater, we had a connection with the theater and so many people from the theater. This theater is so near and dear to my wife, Kim Danish's heart. She has been part of it for so many years, for over 20 years, in fact. I also have a special connection. My name in lights over the marquee appearing in Christmas Carol. I was told I had a walk-on role. To find out that day, I had a speaking part. Only 10 words, but I was terrified. But I did it, and I got a standing ovation, only from my friends in the audience. You remember that, don't you? You were awesome. Yeah. My bar, Candida's, we're talking about connections, people, businesses. My bar and Civic Theater have had a wonderful history together. The night Terry DiBiase and Lois Miller sat on a bar stool, legs crossed, mic in hand, singing old standards. They brought the house down. And who can forget T. Roth, Don Horton, and of course, Tracy singing memories on the last day of the last party I had before my bar closed. These are the connections I've had with the people and the theater itself. I also will never forget Joanne, at that time Welchek, Bill Sanders, Tom Anushka, and so many more who brought fun and laughter into my life. Not to mention the years of wonderful movies and great plays I enjoyed. Thank you so much for this wonderful theater. Hope this place goes on forever. Now, I'll keep it short, because like I said, the mayor had basically the same thing, but this is right. Now, therefore, Allentown City Council on Thursday, October 11th, 2018, does hereby recognize and celebrates the Civic Theater of Allentown on its renovation project and ribbon-cutting ceremonies. Congratulations to all of you. You get everything but my notes.
If we could have our immediate past president for 38, who is president of Civic for 38 years, Sharon Glassman, and our current president, Maria DeFabo Edwards, up front, and then all of the staff and board members. Sorry? Yeah, and all of our speakers back here, back with us, back here. Yeah, right in front here. Come on in.
I want it back. I want it back. Congratulations. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy for you. Oh, this is so special. Get on this side. Come on here.
Tighten it up.
Come on, tighten it up. Let's go.
I'm waiting for Julie. Where is she?
All right, if everybody could help me with the countdown. 5, 4,